Ladies and gentlemen, this is the You, Me, and BTC podcast episode 220. We like to celebrate every once in a while when we hit a multiple of 10 because it sounds like a bigger number. It used to be a much bigger milestone than it is now. I mean, nowadays we got to hit 100 or whatever, but whatever. We'll still celebrate. Thanks for joining us. We got fun planned for today. A lot of fun. I don't know. You could call it fun. You could call it sucky because we're talking about Bitcoin struggles. And, well, we still love Bitcoin, but it sucks in some ways. And we're going to get into all that. I am Daniel Brown, and I'm here with
Tim Baker.
Tim Baker. With his friggin' mouth full of who knows what.
No, that was my bad. Oh, well. I'm Tim Baker because, yeah.
Guys, I want to give another shout out to our awesome sponsor who makes it possible for us to do 2 episodes per week now. That is a brand new development, and it literally is due to America's Card Room, one of the best poker sites on the planet, particularly because they accept crypto. But they don't just accept Bitcoin. They now accept over 60 different cryptocurrencies. And I'll be honest, guys, we did an episode, a month ago, not too long ago, called I Cheated on Bitcoin or something like that. And I'll tell you what, I've been cheating a lot more lately.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't need to get into all the details. Fell down the spiral. But no, seriously, I've been using Zcash, Dash, Ether quite a bit. And so be it. I just have to because it's cheaper. So anyway, the point of that was that's why this casino, this poker site actually accepts over 60 different cryptocurrencies. So check it out at youmeandbtc.com/poker and make sure you use the code BTC100 to get a 100% bonus on your first deposit. That's youmeandbtc.com/poker. The code is BTC100. So guys, I want to ask you. I don't want to reveal all of these right away, but I sent you guys my list so far of Bitcoin struggles, and I want to know which one you think is the worst. Tim, go. Which one is killing you these days?
Definitely the fees. That's the one I noticed the most, probably. The volatility at this point doesn't really matter to me that much, and I don't really care about the exchanges because I don't use them that much. Maybe I'm an idiot. The only thing I've been buying on recently.
All right. Well, you just revealed a bunch of them, but oh well.
No, I thought you. Yeah, but you already had the 3. I thought people already voted on it. I thought. I'm sorry if I did.
No, I decide the ultimate truth of the universe, Tim.
Oh.
Why would I need people to vote on it?
Okay. Wait. What was the?
It's no, I don't care. I don't care. We're having a good time.
In there, you piece of shit. Shut the fuck up. It's in your poll. Anyway, I felt really bad for a little bit. Yeah, mostly just the fees because I'm a cheap bastard. Like I'm like, I don't want to pay this much. Goddamn. Yeah, definitely that.
Well, that's totally fair. I don't want to beat that. I that's in my top 3 as well. I don't want to beat it to death though, only because we did that last week. We talked a lot about how the fees work and how you can lower fees. So yeah, I that's probably my number 1 or my number 2, but I'll share my other one in a second. Zach, any thoughts on what your number 1 is? It could be something not on my list too.
Yeah, fees are probably up there. Although I guess I don't really use Bitcoin a whole lot as far as transactions go. I don't pay a lot of fees. My coins that I keep in cold storage are just cold, and then the ones I trade a little bit on exchanges just are stuck there too. I don't really move them around. I guess for fees, I'm also a little bit frustrated. Not frustrated, I guess, but I think it would be cool. There's no, like, at least to my knowledge, maybe this is just ignorance, but I can't find a wallet that allows me to make use of all this, the Lightning Network at this point. Maybe there is one. Right. But like people are posting all these cool videos about them, like maybe it's all on testnet, but like sending super fast transactions for basically free. and I can't. So they're having all the fun without me. But I guess crappy transactions is the most annoying. Like I use several exchanges. I mean, that's annoying.
Oh yeah, that I'm putting that as my number one because, gosh darn it, I've been waiting for deposits and withdrawals for over a week now. I've said before the thing is, like, centralized exchanges like whatever Poloniex or Bitfinex or Coinbase, they all suck, and we all know that. And I've been getting burnt by them with it just within the past week or two. But the solution was supposed to be, or at least a solution was supposed to be, decentralized exchanges like Shapeshift or like Changely. And those guys have also screwed me over multiple times. Now, fortunately, I haven't actually lost any money. It just, what happens is, you send a deposit, it doesn't show up, and then you have to wait. Then you have to contact support. Then you have to wait for them to get back to you, which is also deadly when the Bitcoin space is exploding as fast as it is. These support departments cannot keep up with crap.
Yeah.
We had one of the stories I linked in the show notes. Yeah. It was about Kraken, and they did like a software upgrade that didn't go as planned or something, so they were down for like 2 days. So it's not quite related to support, but the point is they can't keep up with crap. And same thing with Coinbase. Everyone knows Coinbase goes to hell every time people are interested in buying Bitcoin or selling Bitcoin. When the price plummets, Coinbase craps out too. So that is, and it's been happening all the way back till Mt. Gox, right? I mean, they just suck.
And I think that just shows like how much of a monopoly. Well, I guess a couple other exchanges like Bitfinex and Binance don't accept any new customers because they've had so many.
Oh, right. Yeah.
No one goes anywhere else besides Coinbase to buy. Like they find out about different coins because I guess some of these other exchanges don't even have mobile apps, and everyone wants sort of like a mobile wallet. Everyone goes to Coinbase, and Coinbase sucks. Like if Coinbase was a bank, they would be done like week or something. But there's nowhere for everyone else to go, and so they have to go to Coinbase. And I think that just shows how much of a monopoly they have on the mainstream market.
Well, yeah,
I agree.
They're the ones who ran the Super Bowl commercial, right? Or was that somebody else?
No, that was BitPay. BitPay sponsored they sponsored a whole bowl game
like a couple years ago.
A college bowl game. It was called the BitPay.
Whoever's in the chat right now, answer this. There is something going around Twitter that some coin is going to sponsor a Super Bowl ad this year, and I want to know who they think it's going to be. If it's Bitcoin Cash, like Roger Ver shilling Bitcoin, I'm going to lose my shit.
Oh my gosh!
But you can see that. You can see that happening, can't you? You can picture it right now. I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Like, yeah, and what he's gonna do is like he'll admit, like, he'll call it Bitcoin Cash. He's not gonna pull it so hard and try to call it Bitcoin, but he's just gonna like subtly like slip in like the only crypto that matters, the original crypto. Like, no, I'm sorry, you're not the original crypto, and you're not the only one that matters. Anyway, I almost hope it does happen, just because I'll laugh my ass off. But I hope it would also suck.
I hope it's that James Altucher guy or whatever that's always on ads.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I've already been marketed enough, as much as a Super Bowl ad. I feel like he's already spent that much on marketing. Literally every single page I load, whether it's Bitcoin related or not, I'll see like 5 or 6 of his faces all over. James Altucher. The freaking crypto masterclass.
I've never. This is how much I don't read about it. I haven't even seen that. All I get.
Yeah, well, you gave it up for New Year's, right, Tim?
What?
You gave up Bitcoin media for New Year's, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm doing it, not because I'm lazy. It's sun mining or something like that. Like mine Bitcoin and Ethereum with us, sun mining today or something like
Oh,
that.
I get that on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of YouTube, before I forget,
Fuck you.
gosh darn it, they're shutting us off again.
Shutting us down.
First of all, last week we got screwed over because we played that Bitcoin Baron, like just a clip of that Bitcoin Baron song. And as soon as we stopped streaming live, I got an email like, "Oh, copyright." Blah. Whatever.
Fuck that.
Shout
out to 88 Nate though. He was a phenomenal guest.
Oh yeah, that guy. That was a great time. We had a great. If you haven't seen it, I guess it would be you, me, and btc.com/E218 because it was episode 218.
Thank you for not pulling YouTube copyright on us.
Yeah, thank you, 88 Nate. But no, so the other YouTube screwed us over even more, as they did to a ton of people this week, because they turned off monetization for anyone with less than 1,000 subscribers and like 4,000 listening hours per month.
How is this going to help? What is this going to do? What we're going to get rid of racism by just saying that no, you have to have all the racists have more subscribers than that, you fucking idiots. Who the fuck cares if you subscribe to some little kid in Zimbabwe who likes to videotape an RC car?
Well, yeah, honestly. Do you know how much that like what like it'd take that guy a month to make like 50 cents? You know what that means to him? He'll freaking love it. He'll get like 100 views on his RC car and like freaking seriously though, I know because I've been there. I remember in not even high school, like middle school, I wanted money, and I've told this story on the show. I wanted money, and the only way to get it was to write articles online, and I waited like 6 months, 8 months to finally get to that $50 limit that I needed to get sent a check. So it's yeah, good point, Tim. It's gonna screw over some of those people.
It kind of screws you. It's not like you would have been screwed over without getting $50, but you're killing any kind of actual creative endeavor.
Yeah, exactly.
Money and shit like that is the only thing that I mean. I guess it's easy just to subscribe to somebody, but it still does show that like, okay, I don't subscribe to people, so I'm not a good metric of what people actually do. But if someone subscribed, that at least shows that it's somewhat better than the just general trash that is YouTube videos. So let them do it. No, you want Jake Paul to only be the only one who's making money off of this, and you can go videotape dead Japanese people. But no, I can't do it because not enough people watch me.
So yeah, hey guys, seriously though, we might as well ask you to give us a thumbs up, a share, or a subscribe ultimately. And I don't know if we'll be able to get to 1,000 before YouTube cuts us off, but we definitely plan to get back there eventually, or get to 1,000 eventually, so that we can get back to monetization.
Yeah. Just share us with friends and family. Ruin relationships for the sake of the podcast, please. At least try.
Yeah, do it. That's a good thing to do. Anyway, that was totally unrelated to, but I wanted to get it out there because it actually kind of came up organically there. Anyway, so I think we're generally in agreement that the two worst things for Bitcoin right now are the fees and the crappy exchanges. Like I said, my number one is crappy exchanges, and Tim and Zach both said a little bit about the fees. That affects me, a little more than Tim and Zach and maybe a lot of other people because I do, I pay and get paid in Bitcoin all the time for the site. So I pay Tim and Zach in Bitcoin. And like we said last week, we've had issues that we still haven't solved. I still haven't gotten another address from Tim. I don't know what his issue is.
What? But... No, I sent that to you. I did.
Oh, was it that real creepy email? I remember that now.
Real? I was like, yes, I don't know how to send this bullshit.
I forgot about that. All right.
I hate fucking mycelium now. I'll say that for exchanges. Fuck mycelium, but I don't use it like you do. Like I'm still using Coinbase at this, like it just because it's on my phone and I don't buy it when everyone else is buying. I'm just like, okay, put this in whenever. I don't really give a shit. I'll just hold it anyway. So that's as long
Tim,
as
do you know how many times, like you do what you do? I don't really care what you do with your money, but do you know how many times we've told people on this show, get your freaking coins out of Coinbase or you're freaking screwed?
No, I'm taking them out. I'm just saying
okay.
to buy it. I'm not stockpiling money on Coinbase. I'm not like, guys, please take this shit. But I can use them because it's not really a time constraint for me. I don't have where I'm like, I need
Right. And same, like I've done that before too. If I'm just transferring between wallets, I'll just put a super low fee and I'll wait a week or 2 or 3 or unknown amount of time for that to go through. So, yeah. All right, these crappy exchanges, like I said, Shapeshift and Poloniex and whoever, Bittrex, Changely, they've all screwed me over. And we desperately need decentralized exchanges. We said last week that we're excited about Counterparty. That's one that I've been using for years. Problem is, because it's decentralized, it has to be on the blockchain, and because it has to be on the blockchain, means you have to pay for transactions with not, and they're special transactions. They're counterparty transactions, which means they have more data, which means they cost more to get into the blockchain. So that I love Counterparty. It's a super amazingly useful decentralized exchange, but it's expensive. So that all wraps up into fees as well. I think my number 3, guys. Well, let's go ahead. A couple things here. We're gonna choose our number 3 here in a second. Out of the 3 that we have remaining, and then the other 2 will be honorable mentions. But before I do that, I should mention our landing page and scroll through some chat because I should always do that. Because we love you guys. So if you want to check it out, it's btc.com/live. That will take you straight to the landing page with the video, the chat, the show notes, the links, the poll. I didn't even mention that. We do have the same question. The poll is at the bottom. What is the worst Bitcoin struggle these days? Same thing we've been talking about. The options I gave you, because you can only put 4 in a poll, I gave you transaction fees, poorly managed exchanges, or price volatility, or the 4th would just be other if you want to add something else. So that's again, me and btc.com/live. And we got some good chat going on here. First of all, NY Cartoons was here before the show even started, as usual. Thanks for being here, dude. We'd love to have you. Olaf Hoddle grabbed his popcorn. So, yeah, good idea. Get some popcorn, sit down for the show. And he also says Kraken's working now, which is true. They're back, and they lowered fees to 0 to make up for their like 2-day downtime. Olaf also points out DTube, which I have been seeing more and more on Twitter. I've seen a lot of people sharing DTube videos. And what it is, which I didn't even know this till just a couple weeks ago, it's Steam's video platform. So I obviously Steam was a huge thing back in the day, maybe a year ago, and it hyped up and pumped up and whatever. The Steemit social media network, or whatever they called it, the Steam project, who knows. But it was a huge deal, and there was a bit of discussion about whether it was good or bad, whether it was centralized or decentralized, just like everything in Bitcoin. Do either of you remember that? Did either of you get involved at all with Steam?
No, I didn't. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, no, I didn't. But from what I understand, it's similar to like this yours.com or something that I think is very similar.
Right.
I never used
Yours
either
network,
of them,
yep.
but I'm friends with a bunch of, I don't know why I'm friends with them on Facebook, because we all hate Bcashers, but I'm friends with a bunch of people on Facebook who are major Bitcoin Cash fans, Bcash, and they post on yours.com all the time.
Okay. Yeah, because I bet I don't quote me on this, but I bet they switched to Bitcoin Cash as the currency of yours network.
And the cool thing, so
Wait,
like Bitcoin Cash. Well, can I rant about 2 things for a second?
Yeah, go.
I think first thing is I hate so I hate Bcash, but I also think, just like everything in life, we should hate the coin, not the person, unless they're like a malicious scammer, then we can hate them too. But just because
Unless it's
people,
Roger Ver. No, I'm kidding.
right, he's a shithead. We're done with him. But we should not hate we can separate the coin from the person and say the person is dumb and just hate on the coin without hating on the person, maybe. But secondly, I was looking at this tipper bot that people use. I guess it's been around for a while.
Right.
I just discovered it the other day, and that's super cool. Like, I wish, or I hope, on some layer in like the Lightning network or some level of scaling, there's something like that for Bitcoin, because it's super cool. You just tag it and tip people. And I honestly don't know if you can ever cash out, but you at least nominally have some money.
Yeah. So we had that with Bitcoin back in the day. Like, I mean, like 4 or 5 years ago, it was called Change Tip, and it was all off chain. So you would deposit and withdraw from Change Tip, but once you had your money in Change Tip, you could microtransact 1 million times a second if you wanted. And it was the same thing. You just tag them on Twitter, tag them on Reddit, tag them on YouTube, wherever the heck you wanted, and they would do that transaction for you. But it became too expensive, and Bitcoin became regulated, and they had to give that up. So that sucked. But anyway, yeah. So yours network as well, and I agree, Zach. Bitcoin Cash, it is cool, and whatever, they have to use Bitcoin Cash for it right now, and that's what they use because it's cheaper. So be it. Tim, I think you were asking what yours network is.
Yeah, well, more just how is it spelled? Because I haven't heard of that. I haven't heard of D2. I've only heard of
Steam.
No, I've never heard of Steam. There's another one that and it's not Patreon, but a bunch of like the alt-right people went to.
Patreon.
No, it's not that. It might even be yours, maybe. How do you spell it?
It's yours. I don't know. Yours network. Okay. Just search for yours network, like Bitcoin or something. But yeah, the idea with Steam and yours is that they're crypto-based social media networks. So that instead of liking things, you get a little bit of cryptocurrency the more that people like your stuff, and the more that people share your stuff, you get some crypto. That's really all it comes down to. Now, like I said, I realized that DTube just recently is the same thing as Steam. It's just their video platform. It's part of Steam. And so anyway, where was I going with that? I think what I wanted to say was just that I never did much research, but my general opinion of Steam was that it was a joke. That is, that it was too centralized. I know everyone argues about that in Bitcoin, and everyone hates each other for thinking one thing or the other. And I'm not going to claim to know the answer, but my general understanding was that it wasn't super decentralized or worthwhile. That is partially why, like, I'm not super interested in DTube. Having said that, I may be more interested now that I've been seeing it around more often, and now that YouTube cut us off. So we'll see where we end up with all that. I don't know if you can stream live to DTube. I would highly doubt it, because that's another thing. Before I even knew that DTube was associated with Steam, I still hated them because their platform just sucked. Every time I loaded their videos on my phone or their web pages on my phone, they just wouldn't play. And I was on the top of the line Android phone with Chrome. Like, how do you screw that up? And yeah, they're better. They're a little bit better now. I can get them to play most of the time, but they're still like, it's hard to like navigate the video and all that stuff. So
be live for live streaming.
Live streaming on DTube?
Yeah, it's just called D Live.
Oh, okay. Huh.
It's just a streaming platform.
So we'll keep an eye on it. I know they're new technology, so I know they don't have to be perfect. But if they do get better, and if it does make money, even if it is somewhat centralized, obviously anything's better than YouTube. So we'll keep an eye on it.
No,
and
better. It like YouTube right now. YouTube, Twitter, they're not going to get.
Right.
They're not going to reverse this stuff.
Right. What I'm saying is, yeah, YouTube is as bad as it gets in terms of decentralization. or as bad as it gets in terms of centralization. So what I'm saying is, like the point was, I was saying that some people hated on Steam because they claimed it was too centralized. And I think that could be true. It might not be a truly decentralized network, but anything is better than YouTube. It's still going to be miles ahead of YouTube, even if it is somewhat centralized. Well, still miles better than YouTube. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on all that and let you know where we end up. And of course, obviously, if we do switch platforms, we'll let our YouTubers know and we'll post it on our site or whatever. But I don't expect anything soon because I'm sure there's a lot of effort that goes into that, and I'm not one for effort. So, oh, geez. Okay, back to the chat, and then we'll move on here. Not too much more. NY Cartoon said that when Coinbase craps out, it's done by design. Bit of a conspiracy theory, but I wouldn't turn it down right away. And Olaf also said a bit ago that he could see Roger doing that Super Bowl commercial. So I'm excited. I hope he does. It'll be hilarious. So guys, we are seriously going to choose our number 3 biggest Bitcoin struggle here in a minute. I'm going to run our commercial though, real quick. We'll be right back. I will ask Tim and Zach to mute themselves as usual. I'll try to share the correct screen. And be back in a sec.
Out using more than 60 different cryptocurrencies. Get ready for crypto overload. We're making it easy to get into the game at America's Card Room with your favorite cryptocurrency. We are thrilled to announce that you can deposit and cash out using more than 60 different cryptocurrencies. We are the first poker site to offer this after already accepting Bitcoin from the beginning. Cryptocurrencies are the future. We can predict that playing real money poker will never be easier at americascardroom.com.
So yeah, thanks again to our sponsor. Check them out if you're willing. So we have 3 remaining struggles on our current list. We know that we might think of more as we're discussing here, but we named our top 2. We have 3 remaining, and we are going to choose our third worst Bitcoin struggle. And also a reminder that if you want to vote on what you think the worst thing about Bitcoin is right now, again, it's you, me, and btc.com/live. That'll take you to our landing page. Also, just randomly, I like to mention that updates every week to point to the most recent live episode. If you want to get to this episode in particular, you can go to me and btc.com/E220 that's for episode 220. So, all right, Tim, Zach, the 3 remaining ones are Volatility, Coin Security, and by that I mean keeping your wallets in order and secure and, offline and cold storage and all that. Or hacks, and that could be exchanges getting hacked, that could be casinos getting hacked, that could be any old service getting hacked and coins lost. So those are the 3: Volatility, Coin Security, or hacks. Do either of you have an opinion on what the worst of those 3 would be? No.
No, I definitely don't think Volatility is the worst. I think it's not I think it's the least worst of those 3, just because volatility is going down, is decreasing, obviously, at least downward volatility is. And it's the most annoying probably because it's the one that makes for the best headlines. Like I wrote this one little letter the other week or so that basically said the ticker price makes for great headlines, but it's stupid essentially. And I think the market cap and the price are both stupid. Everyone loves to talk about it because they like the dollar signs, but it's probably the least interesting thing about everything here. And so I hate when people talk about the price. Like when I was getting texts over the past couple of days because obviously Bitcoin died or something. And everyone's like, what's going on? When will it end? Are you buying or what should I do? I'm just like, to a couple people who, it was kind of funny because some of them never talked to me in school before. Then they're texting me. They're like, what do you think of Bitcoin? Should I buy Bitcoin and Ripple right now? And I just texted them back like 3 Z's, like ZZZ.
Yeah, no,
nothing else.
That's
Yeah.
like every single goddamn conversation. And they're just, oh, what do you think it's going to drop to? I think it's going to drop to 5,000. Do you think I should buy some more of this? What should I do with this right now?
Yeah.
Should I do this? I don't fucking know you.
Yeah, so what you're saying, Zach, is it's not so much the volatility that bugs you. It's the fact that people think volatility is so crazy. That's what bugs you.
Yeah, it's worthless.
Got it. That's totally fair enough, and I agree. I saw a tweet just like half an hour ago that said something like, all of a sudden, I forget, like CNBC or Bloomberg Money or something. One of these sites was just like, all of their alerts are about Bitcoin. It's like they don't even realize that Bitcoin has an alert-worthy price change every 10 minutes. Like, so, yeah, it changes a lot.
I get where people who look at Bitcoin kind of like make fun of Bitcoin people and are like, well, yeah, I mean, they think that they say they don't care. It drops $3,000, but it's not like that's not a problem with anything that I can see in the technology. It's because the fucking market's so small. I mean, if the
it's like that's why we see like Roger McAfee tweets about a certain coin and it shoots up because that's so like even that shitcoin market is so incredibly thin, and Bitcoin is only marginally bigger,
right,
by comparison to other currencies, and so. But also, I just really don't care. And people asking me what they should do and stuff makes me care even less. Like, when will this price drop end? Like, please stop. Like, I don't want to talk to you right now. I don't care.
When are you going to sell your Bitcoin? What would it have to get to sell your Bitcoin? Well, I mean, say you were going to sell it, but you wouldn't sell what? Like,
look, if I bought now, like, when should I sell it?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, what a classic mistake. I remember. I'm sure I've told this on the show, but I remember the very first time I ever bought Bitcoin. It must have been like 30 bucks, 31, 32 bucks. And it went up to like 35. And I was like, okay, I'll sell a tenth of my Bitcoin at 35 because it went up. Like I just profited. And then once it gets to 30, I had the strategy plans out. I was like, once it gets to 36, like, holy crap, that's another huge gain. I'll sell another 10%. I was going to sell 10% all the way between 35 and 45. So if it got up to 45, I'd be out of Bitcoin. And all of a sudden, what happened was like the price went up so fast that I didn't have time to sell 10% at one of those margins. Yeah. And all of a sudden, it was at like 50 bucks. And I was like, shoot, it is a good thing I didn't run out of Bitcoin at 45 bucks. That would have sucked. So that's one of the lessons you got to learn early on is like, if you're actually willing to buy it, why would you be willing to sell it? Yeah. I mean, unless you need money for X, Y, or Z, like whatever. If you're getting out of debt, fine. But like if it's just money that you just have lying around, like if you why did you buy it in the first place if you're gonna go right back to the dollar? Like I don't know. I know everyone.
I agree. I think so I was lucky, I think, and maybe I've said this before on the show, I don't know, but I feel lucky because when you first introduced me to Bitcoin, it was shortly after that crash, right around like the early 2014, whatever that crash was. I first got in after that, and so I sort of saw, all right, this thing has like some a ceiling at least significantly higher than where I'm buying in right now, and I feel like I don't know. I know for a fact, actually, probably I would have done the exact same thing where if it was at like 20, 30, 40 bucks, I would be like, holy shit, it's at 80 bucks now. Like I'm out. This is like,
yeah,
80 bucks is the moon. This is over now. So.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying like you should never sell anything. I mean, obviously you got to analyze and make decisions, but it just doesn't make sense if you're only in it for even then, like, even if you are only in it for dollar gains, like, whatever, what do I care? Like, fine, go try to make your dollars. Like, even that, I don't really care about. I'm just saying that if you do happen to really believe in it, and especially after you've already been in it for 5-6 years, like Tim and I, and Zach's been in it for a lot of that. Like, once you're in it for that long, it's like, you don't even think about selling. It's like, well, yeah, I guess I could lock in gains, but why would I do that? It's just such a it's like when It's like if you had a ton of freaking stocks. Let's say, obviously, if Bitcoin didn't exist and you had all your money in a 401k and all these stocks, like, and you may, whatever, like you're about to retire, you're like, well, am I going to like sell stocks? No, like you just leave it there and collect dividends and
but this
whatever.
is like anyone asking you in your 20, like you just got them like a year ago. They're like, okay, when are you going to cash out your 401k?
Oh yeah, that's even exactly. That's even better. That's a really good point. It's not even like you're close to retirement. It's like you're like 26 and they're like, well, are you going to sell your 401k now? Like, no, sorry. Yeah, good point, Tim.
When are you going to do it?
So, hey, I'm going to go ahead and select. So that was Zach, or what? How did we get onto that? That was still talking about volatility, the price changing, buying and selling. So that was sort of Zach's picks. Zach picked a version of that for his number 3. My number 3, my biggest struggle with Bitcoin. And another reminder, jump in the chat, guys. Let us know what your struggles are, what you think it's the worst. You, me, and btc.com/live. My number 3 is going to go ahead and be coin security. Because especially with all these forks, I've joked about this several times recently, so you know this, but trying to keep track of coins like on your computer and on your phone, and then like your cold storage, however you do that, whether it's with hardware or paper, or if it's multi-sig. I've had so many issues just trying to keep track of it, and then it's super exponentially harder to keep track of everything when all these forks come in. You got to figure out, wait, what block did this fork at? Did I still have the multi-sig wallet or didn't I? So does that mean I do or I don't have Bitcoin candy? Like, you got to figure out all that crap. And so that's going to be my number 3. It's just a lot to keep track of, and I wish there were it's definitely way better than it used to be. I mean, hardware wallets didn't used to exist. Paper wallets, heck, those didn't even exist for a certain amount of time, or they weren't very easy to create very securely. And, there was different. I literally didn't even know this until just this week, that I had a multi-sig wallet with an address that did not start with a 3. And that confused the crap out of me. I was like, I thought multi-sig was supposed to start with a 3. And I didn't do a ton of research, but I think what happened is it wasn't an actual Bitcoin multi-sig address. It was just they used some other mathematics to obscure the private key between multiple shares of data. So anyway, it wasn't so much that you needed multiple secrets to spend the Bitcoin. It's that you needed multiple secrets to decode the private key, which then you could use to spend the Bitcoin. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But anyway, so that's easily my number 3. I've dealt with that a lot recently, especially with the forks. I can't keep track of coins. Oh, and the other thing is, like we said just last week, a lot of these wallets that have been around for so long, like blockchain.info, sure, like Coinbase, like BitPay, like a lot of the Airbits on my phone. I love Airbits, but they've been around for ages, but they don't have all these new features that we talked about last week. And so that creates even more problems, because then you have to transfer coins to a whole new wallet. And that's just another wallet to keep track of if you want these newer features. And then you have to worry even more because they're newer wallets. Like, can you trust them? Are they going to have bugs? And stuff like that. I tried to use Zacs a bit recently, which allows you, they have, I forget, like 15 or 20 different cryptos that you can store all in one Zacs wallet on your phone. And it's just so buggy. Like, it's such a great idea. I love the concept, but I just run into bug after bug after bug with the Zacs wallet. So I'm going to label all of those issues under coin security, because it's just so hard to keep track of where your coins are and how secure are they. And, did you back it up did you back it up digitally? Did you back it up on paper? Did you write it down? All of that is just a huge headache for me. That's my number 3 Bitcoin struggle. But any thoughts, guys? And we still have to hear from Tim on his number 3, but any thoughts on what I just said? I ranted a bit there.
Yeah, no, you seem like you probably have an issue keeping track of things. Yeah. That's
Oh, wait, you sound like you're blaming me. So is it my struggle or is it Bitcoin's fault?
I mean, it's both of you. It's you. I mean, well, I mean that might legitimately be true. Like we probably aren't fully developed to be able to deal with all the media shit that we have now. That's why everybody has ADD, but or ADHD, whichever one it is. But maybe our children will be able to more. They'll just have the blockchain embedded in their veins. But yeah, that's not mine. I'll kind of reveal mine a little bit. Just because I don't use Bitcoin a ton for paying for. I don't move it around that much.
Right.
Bitcoin
Which
for me is
I
pretty
wish
much
I could
just-
say that.
Yeah, Bitcoin for me is pretty much just holding just the value, just kind of sitting there. It's pretty much just digital gold at this point to me.
Which is fine. Some people think that means something's wrong with Bitcoin because you just have to hold it. But that's fine.
No,
That's what
fucking
people do with
value.
gold.
Well, that's what I'm curious because I've gotten, well, one or two, but people like to point out that the narrative like has sort of shifted a lot, which I don't think necessarily is a problem, but maybe you do. I don't know. Which is, I guess, the whole point behind Bitcoin Cash, trying to keep it a peer-to-peer cash payment network instead of something that functions as digital gold, because that's what Bitcoin used to be when the blocks weren't filled, there were no transaction fees, all of that, and then sort of the stakes in the game got upped, people took it more seriously, and now it, at least at present scale, doesn't function like a cryptographic cash. It functions like digital gold, and like so that sort of shifts the narrative completely from what it used to be. Is that a problem, or is that just? I mean, will the narrative always shift depending on where we are technologically?
Yeah, I think that's just how a technology just progresses. Like we always talk about how normally new technology get used by people in the outliers, possibly criminals, military, shit like that. But it's also the applications for it are different. Like I don't have anything off the top of my head, so this isn't really going to be a good example. But a lot of like chemicals that we use nowadays for different shit, or just certain things that were invented, were originally used for something else. Were originally used for a different application. Like yeah, Bitcoin was used for a while as just a currency, but it's been people have been looking at it as a store of value pretty much from pretty early on, I think. At least that's that's the feeling I got, was people like, no, just like keep like spend it, yeah, because get some money back, but it's going to be worth more most likely. There's no reason why it wouldn't, and yeah, just hold it. And I just didn't listen enough and buy more.
I would say, I would say it all comes down to value. And really, I don't even want to define the term value. I don't care how you define value. I don't whatever, call it a value, call it a price, call it, intrinsic value. I don't care what you want to call it. Just use the term value, the common sense meaning of the term value. Do you value Bitcoin, or do people value Bitcoin? And the fact is, yes. Like, not just because the price is up, but literally, like, people want it, people use it, people like it, people enjoy it. It, for whatever reason. There's a million different reasons. Some of them like it because it's scarce. Some of them like it because it used to be cheap transactions. Some of them like it because you can cross borders. Like, it doesn't matter. The point is, yes, people value it. The common sense meaning of value, regardless of why, yes, they value it. So, sure. I mean, that's all it takes for me is and well, obviously I need enough of that. I need enough people to value it, but I think they do. And so that's where I'd say, sure. Like, what if the use case changes? So what if it used to be digital cash and now it's digital gold? And so what if Lightning Network comes along and turns it back into digital cash, or whatever the heck could happen? Are people going to value it? Yes. Yeah, that's what it comes down to me. Sure, there's going to be different features. The transaction fees are going to skyrocket because people value it, because people want it, because people are using it. And eventually transactions might go the transaction fees might get lowered because of Lightning Network. and Lightning Network exists, is coming into existence because people value it, because people like it, because people use it. So no matter what happens, if it's cash or gold, if it's expensive or cheap, if Lightning Network solves issues or doesn't solve issues, if it does end up with a bigger block size, and whether or not that helps or not, the question is just common sense. Do people value it? And I think they definitely do now, and I'm fairly confident that they will continue to value it no matter what comes along for quite a while. So that's what I'd say. I think I ranted again there, but we were joking a month or two ago for a couple episodes. We were joking about oversimplification, and that's what I would do that again right there. I'd just say, yeah, let's oversimplify it. Let's not even define value. Let's just take the common sense definition and say, do people value Bitcoin? Yes. I'm sure someone has a counter example like, oh, well, everyone values water and it's worthless. All right, fine. Sure, you win. All right. Did we ever get number 3 out of you, Tim?
No, I kind of alluded to it. Mine would just be, it doesn't affect me that much, but I'm most worried about hacks. I'm most worried about someone just finding out the address and then just stealing my money and me just being like, but why? Why did you do this to me? Like, I'm more worried about, because I almost like expect it from exchanges. I'm almost like, yeah, you're gonna fucking do this to me. But I don't want to be the one who just like, oh, this is all my fault. I don't have anybody else to blame. So
that's
definitely
fair.
hacks are definitely my scare, whether that's exchanges or just on your personal property.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. Those are pretty similar. Like my whole rant about coin security was pretty similar. Like, I want to keep track of my Bitcoin in such a way that it can't get hacked. So yeah, it's a similar point there. Especially when, I don't know if you guys kept up with this, but it was floating around the tech world quite a bit. The exploits that came out at the very beginning of the year, the computer hardware exploits called Spectre and something else, it says. They were similar exploits. But I don't want to get into all the details. Just Google it if you want to know what they are and how they worked and whatever. But the reason I bring it up is because they were just so god-awful serious exploits. They exploited every single kind of processor, like back to 1995. So it's not like some obscure like bug in like Intel i7 generation 6. Like, no, like and it wasn't just Intel. It was also AMD or ARM processors. All the way back to 1995. I'm sure I'm paraphrasing, but it was a whole bunch of processors. And on a similar note, it wasn't just some obscure, like, oh, they can slow down your computer. No, they could literally access anything in memory, any secrets, any passwords, anything stored in your memory, which that's supposed to be a fundamental part of computing, is that my one program, say Firefox, will never be able to get data out of Skype. Like, they just don't work that way. The operating system doesn't allow it. But they exploited it so that a program, say your browser, say you're visiting a website that's running JavaScript. That's one of the things about JavaScript. You can run completely arbitrary code on any website. And that arbitrary code could be exploited to pull out your Bitcoin private keys from your Bitcoin wallet that you have running right next to Firefox or Chrome or whatever. I talked a lot again there. All I'm trying to say is that, yeah, hacks are scary.
Hacks suck.
They're real. Now, again, I try not to be too paranoid, but you just never know. That's it. So
Never know.
Guys, this was fun. That's our list pretty much. We hit I'll go ahead and read them off real quick, each one, just as a reminder. Number 1 and 2 kind of tied. We all had different numbers 1 and 2, but those two were the high fees, extremely high fees lately, and crappy exchanges, whether they crash, whether they lose your money, whether they get hacked. Those were our top 2, high fees and crappy exchanges. Number 3, we all had a different number 3, but I'll list all 3 number 3s right here. That was volatility, or at least Zach's version of what he dislikes about the volatility. That was coin security. That was my issues with just trying to keep track of my coins without losing them, without losing my wallet security. A lot of wallets, a lot of coins to sort out and whatever. That was my number 3. And Tim's number 3 was hacks, whether it's hacking a service or an exchange or a casino, or whether it's hacking your own wallet on your own computer, whatever. That's what Tim is struggling with.
I have a new struggle though to add.
All right, what is it?
All the people who are on Twitter and just talk about it incessantly and live their lives making content about news about it and everything. Everyone except us. Fuck no.
Except
Fuck
us. You're right.
No.
If you're saying something bad,
I agree. I agree. The thing I hate is people who bought Bitcoin and are now fucking experts about how like the price is going to crash or done. We're going to the moon, or you should buy this coin now because they're tired of Bitcoin or something like that. I'm like,
yeah, it's a pain in the butt. I agree. That's why you won't see Tim on Twitter this year. He gave it up for for his.
I don't. Yeah.
What about all those new followers I got you, Tim? I said you're the dark horse expert in.
No, I am a dark horse. That's why I just retweet things to my own show because I'm kind of like the dark edgy. I'm the dark edgy one. No, I'll start just putting out just like nihilistic Bitcoin things. Like Bitcoin will be here long after we're gone.
So we got James Bond in the chat here again. Thanks for joining us. He says he has billions of dollars just lying around. Should he buy BTC? I don't know. You decide, James. That's for you to decide. Tim says after you donate several million to the show. Hey, we do have an address at the end of all of our show notes, whether it's on our website, on YouTube, on Spreaker, on SoundCloud, wherever. You can scroll down and donate to that address. I promise I'm planning to get it updated to a SegWit address as soon as I can. I have SegWit addresses now. I just need to go into my website and update address. So that's coming. But if you're willing to send to a regular address, that's fine too. We'll take all the help we can get. We'll speak, and I'm a little sick. I don't know if you guys can tell I'm a little nasally or whatever.
I was wondering. I didn't know if you were trying a new voice out. Just like,
this is you, me, and BTC.
Daniel's trying to be like, I'm definitely up for the media. I need to get in this. I need to talk like this. Daniel's gonna be the next
apologies for that. It is, guys, that time of the hour. Time for advice of the week. If you have your own advice that you would like to share before we wrap up, you've got about 5 minutes to make it happen, and you can do that in the chat at me and btc.com/live. That'll get you right there if you're not already there. The chat's right on top. Let us know what advice is, and we will read it on the show if you get it in time. But we'll get started to give you guys time to share your advice. Tim, Zach, any advice for us, or should I go first?
Advice: don't talk to anybody about Bitcoin. Get your Bitcoin and shut up about it because people get robbed for that shit, and you don't want that to happen.
That's true. We interviewed a guy on the show way back in the day who was robbed at gunpoint for his Bitcoin. So
there's just no use in telling people your money situation. If you're doing something, just do it. Don't talk about it. Don't put stuff in exchanges, I guess.
Oh,
well, Tim, how much Bitcoin do you own?
James, send me money. I'll tell everybody if James send me money.
I want James to send Tim like $10 million with like a 10-cent fee, and just like see how long it takes for Tim to actually. It'll just be like stare, like refreshing. Is it confirmed? Is it confirmed? Is it there? Oh, come on!
Fuck, it's
And then
stuck
I
in the
can tell them
meat
to go
pool.
fuck themselves as soon as this first confirmation hits. God damn it! I'm gonna tell everybody.
Yeah, then James is just gonna like watch you suffer for like a month. Every episode, he'll just like come on and be like, "I got you, Tim. I got you, Tim."
Just
And then
please.
finally, he's just gonna double spend it so that the unconfirmed transaction will just go away. He'll double spend it with a really high fee to himself, so that Tim will actually never get that money.
Like, James likes me, right? Yeah, he'd never do that.
Oh, jeez. So, wait, did you get yours out, Zach, or was there more?
My advice is probably see if you can go. You should be able to. You should go. You should be able to go at least 24 hours without checking the Bitcoin price. And if you can't do that, you've got serious problems. And go 24 hours. This is probably hard for me to do. I'm the person that Tim hates. But go 24 hours without being on Twitter too.
No, I'm on Twitter. I just don't. I just look around like a creepy person.
Well,
right.
see, the thing that annoys me is I try to produce good content. Like I read something cool and tweet it, and then I see these shitheads with like 10,000 followers, and they tweet like the stupidest tweet. I'm like, and then it gets 10,000 favorites and retweets. I'm like, the hell is that shit? Like,
jeez. Yeah, good advice. It's real specific. Stay off social media for 24 hours. Specific advice is helpful. Mine's gonna be. I'm gonna totally echo Tim about just get the crap off of exchanges. Like I just can't even anymore. I'm so fed up with all these exchanges. So there's that. And on a related note, work on atomic swaps. We mentioned that last week. We were supposed to do like half an episode about it, but we got distracted, whatever. But still, atomic swaps are the wave of the future. I cannot wait for them to be a thing. That's why, like that's why I love Counterparty, because it allows me to make trades entirely on the blockchain, entirely without a central party, entirely without trusting anyone. The problem is with Counterparty, you can only trade counterparty assets. I need a decentralized exchange that works for multiple blockchains. So that's another bit of advice: is work on that, or find someone who is and follow them on Twitter. Whatever you got to do, just support that effort. The other thing is, like I said, one of my biggest, struggles that I came up with was wallet security and just trying to keep track of everything. And it's annoying AF. And same thing with everything else. Exchanges are annoying AF. Whatever it is, volatility can be annoying AF. Social media, Bitcoin social media can be annoying AF. All of these things that we've talked about today can be super, downers and annoying and sad and whatever. But in light of that, my final bit of advice is just going to be, hey, have fun, be an optimist, put your head up. Sure, stuff is difficult. We'll try to make it better. If we don't make it better, we'll just, eat and drink. I don't know, I don't know what to say other than just being happy is generally better than being negative. So try to be happy. That's all I got. I can't give you philosophical evidence or whatever. It just seems
honestly,
to be the case.
Bitcoin makes me so happy. Like, maybe that's a lame thing to say, but it does. Like, everything that I can learn is a little bit overwhelming, I guess, at times, to think about everything there is to learn, because it's constantly growing every day. You can never catch up or get ahead of it.
Yeah.
But it's like exciting and it's exhilarating and all that stuff. And probably the most draining thing you can do is stare at a price chart all day and worry about if your life savings are going to disappear because you're afraid of this, like, boogeyman's flying spaghetti monster volatility or something. Like, just chill out, ignore the price, and have fun learning. That's my strategy, at least, and I love it.
Good call. I also like, as a closing note here, NY Cartoons advice, or story of the week, or advice of the week. I don't know what he means, but he says, get Zach in chat. So we'll keep that in mind for next week. I'll make sure Zach is booted up in the chat, ready to go to frickin' send the zingers all over. So
me?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Sweet.
They want
yeah.
you in chat.
Yeah. And my cartoons, I've got zingers all here waiting to type, but for some reason it won't let me in the chat. I don't know, my YouTube or something is screwed up. So sorry, but I'll get in there next week.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Hey, peace out, guys. It's been a blast. Thanks for joining us. In the meantime, we'll have another episode on Monday. Zach already sent me another interview like a week ago, so that'll be ready for Monday.
So we've been. Can I shill it real quick
Do it.
I guess.
Plug it like there's no tomorrow.
Well, so there's a super cool guy you should follow on Twitter, Chiefy Newdom. Sorry, Chiefy, I just butchered your last name. I can't pronounce his last name. No, Chiefy Eendom. That's how you pronounce it. He's from Ghana. He grew up in New York City. He's been all over the world, and he is trying to convince Ghana as well as 12 other African nations to put somewhere between 1% and 10% of their foreign currency reserves directly into Bitcoin, and then just don't touch it. Just like digital gold, exactly like digital gold. So he's traveling around talking to these different countries, governments. And so we chatted about it. So normally these episodes are like 30 minutes, but we went on for a whole hour. So it's a massive episode. And you should definitely check it out. It'll come out on Monday or Tuesday, I guess. So yeah, he's a great guy. Super cool.
Sweet. So that's coming up on Monday. And we'll be back as usual next Thursday, 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern. And in the meantime, the place to be is always you, me, and BTC.com. That is where you can keep up with all of our podcasts, all of our articles, all of our tools, tutorials, reviews, our calculator. It's all there for you, whatever you need. Our feeds, if you want to follow us, social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.com, all those things, /you, me, and BTC, or @you, me, and BTC, whatever the case may be. Peace out, guys. It's been fun. We'll see you later. We love you.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Doesn't love you.